Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from May 19th to the 25th, and I'm using this printable kit called Welcome Spring, and it's by Planning Choco. If it's available, I'll link it down below, but I did get this last year, I believe, and just never ended up using it. But I wanted to use it for this week because this week I went to West Virginia with my boyfriend, and we stayed at his parents' house, and honestly, the main reason is because this double box that you'll see eventually on Saturday and Sunday looks just like his parents' house to me. So yeah, that's the main reason I went with this kit. But anyway, as far as how everything turned out, I'm pretty happy with it. You'll see that I decided to use the date covers instead of the deco up top, and part of that was because I needed more space. And the other part of it was I just didn't feel like putting the tiny deco down. I don't know why. It takes a lot of brain power for me. I can't explain it. I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult, but every time I have to do the top deco, I love how it looks, but I can't stand doing it. And I hate having to cut off the excess and whatever. So it worked out this week just to not do it. And I also only put 2 glitter headers on each day instead of 3, just again to give me a little extra space because I didn't feel like I had enough to mark that I would need to leave full boxes out, but I definitely did have more to mark than I have been having. So yeah, anyway, I think everything turned out well. I'm still struggling with this sticker paper, and it's funny. I was looking online for something new, and I saw that a lot of people on Amazon were leaving reviews that the black doesn't stick properly to the paper, and I am wondering if that is this new paper. I went back in my Amazon history and I can't find the paper I bought the first time. I've since repurchased this, so I don't know. I can't find the original paper. It was really thick and way too sticky, and I kind of hated working with it, but the black ink set properly on that paper, and for some reason it's not doing it on this. And then I saw somebody else leave a review that after cutting their stickers, it left this dusty residue on top of the stickers. And yes, that I'm having that problem, and it's driving me crazy because I'm having to fill everything in with a 0.5 pen instead of a 0.38, and I just naturally have really big handwriting, and I just don't like how it looks. I want to use the 0.38. Anyway, long way to ask, if you have any glossy sticker paper recommendations, please let me know because I'm desperate. I actually just purchased this again, but I still need a recommendation because I don't want to be in this situation again, but I only have 1 sheet left and there are kits I want to print, so I just went for it. Whatever, it's cheap. But anyway, yeah, let me know. As far as things that happened this week, again, I was still pretty depressed at this time. I think we're starting to come to the end of it. I want to say there's 1 more week of me just being in the most foul mood ever. And I had to go to West Virginia. I didn't have to go, but I went to keep Joe company on the ride and to see his family. And actually, it's funny, I finally have a Nintendo Switch, and a big reason why I got it, besides the fact I just wanted it, was so that I could take it with me and play video games when I'm bored to tears. Sorry, my wrist just cracked. But we were so busy that I didn't touch my book. I didn't touch my Switch. I was doing things. So it was a much better trip than normal. But yeah, anyway, the coolest thing I will say that happened this week was randomly on Saturday, we joined his parents at a picnic. It was like a birthday party barbecue, really, but they called it a picnic, whatever, for one of his mom's friends. And everybody there, including his mom, was like, oh, you have to meet so-and-so. I'm blanking on his name. I feel awful. Anyway, this little cute man, he was so adorable. Anyway, he was the birthday girl's neighbor. And everybody kept saying, oh, you have to see his property. It's like a museum. You have to see his property. It's like a museum. Oh, yeah, he basically lives in a museum. And we're like, yeah, sure, whatever. We go over there. Eventually, he was actually going to give us the keys to his house and just let us walk around his house without him. But we were like, no, come with us. So he comes with us. He shows us his garden. He has an amazing garden. He grows literally everything. And he had poppies, which is my favorite flower. And he was like telling us how you make heroin from it. Adorable. Anyway, we go into his house. They weren't kidding. This man lives in a museum. There were hundreds of thousands of dollars of artwork everywhere. Statues, paintings the size of entire walls. Like, it was insane. We did not realize he is an art, not collector, an art dealer, an art whatever. Basically, once a year he goes to Europe and brings back tons of art. He said it cost him, I think, $130,000 just to ship over everything that he got this year. Anyway, after we see his house, we're like, wow, that's amazing. He brings us into his, like, it's a barn, but basically it's a warehouse. I mean, there's real marble statues that like weigh 10,000 pounds or 5,000 pounds, whatever the hell, like insane. He was showing us these like vintage Mickey Mouse dressers there's like 6 in existence, and he sold 2 of them for like $20,000. I don't know. It was wild, and it was really cool, and just that alone was worth the trip to West Virginia. I have never seen anything like it. It was like he lived in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Wild, insane. Just what a life. But anyway, I don't think anything else really exciting happened besides that. So I'm just going to get into the day by day, starting with Monday. The first thing I marked was that I worked remote and I used a Papershire remote work sticker. Then this, I think I said was Stellabo Sticker Co. in my last plan with me. It's not. It's and I'm blanking on the name. Anyway, it's an older sticker, but I just used it to mark doing a bunch of random things on my to-do list and cleaning the apartment. Then with this squidge silhouette sticker and this barf that I cut out of an emoji from the Coffee Monsters Co., I marked that not Joe. Oh my God, that'd be so weird. Brad, the cat, this was a cat, not a human. Brad barfed all over my silhouette. Thank God the lid was down and none of his vom got inside the silhouette. It was just on top of it. But there were like multiple little piles of vomit. Sorry, this is gross, but not hairballs. Like straight up vom that I had to clean up off my silhouette. And it was like he knew I needed to use it because he was sleeping in my room like a little angel. I come in, my silhouette's covered in vomit. I was coming in to print and cut a kit. So it's like he knew. Then with this squish on a walking pad from Fox and Cactus and this TV from SPC, I marked that I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and did my steps. Then this is stupid, but you guys know at this point that my roommate is accident prone. I don't know how to put it, but let's just say everything she touches gets sticky. I went to use my remote for my Chromecast so that I could watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I noticed that like the buttons are all covered in like black stuff. I don't know what. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, do you know why my remote's all gross? Because I left it on Friday and it was in pristine condition and now it's all black. And she was like, oh yeah, I noticed that on Friday too. And I'm just like rolling my eyes because I'm like, babe, you did it. I know you did it because you just added HBO Max to the TV. I didn't put HBO Max on the TV. She added HBO Max, which means she used the Chromecast. And no offense, the cats didn't do it because the only buttons that it was on were like all of the controllers and the power button. I don't think the cats did it. Like, it was you. Let's just admit it was you. Anyway, so I used this Sticky Perks remote and this Sure Munchkin to mark that because I just thought that was funny. Anyway, luckily I was able to clean it. I'm insane about like all of my stuff just staying as brand new as possible. So It's a big reason why I don't like to share. Because if somebody messes up something of mine, I will resent them until they die. So anyway, then with this Stick with the Plan Co. Lottie, I marked that I filmed a video. And then the final thing on Monday with this Paper Shire sticker was that I read. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that I did the litter before work, and I used a Prairie Planner sticker for that. Then with this Awkward Munchkin, I marked that my boss told me that we shouldn't gossip. My new coworker and I shouldn't gossip about like the boss. We didn't get in trouble or anything, but she was just like, she was worried, and I get it. She like has to put on a face. I've heard her through the wall complaining, and then she'll tell me something totally different because she wants to like keep everything positive, which I understand. It's her job, but yeah, we're not allowed to gossip. Then with this beautiful mess something, Olivia, is that her name? I don't know. I marked that I had to attend the sales meeting because unfortunately they had it later in the day in Europe, which means that I was able to attend. Gross. Then with this Sticky Perks audiobook sticker, I marked that I finished the one, which I ended up really enjoying the ending. Then with this Get Lit Munchkin, I marked that I read my physical book on my break. With this Squish from Fox and Cactus, I marked that I stopped at Aldi on my way home. Then with this sticker that's just from the kit, I marked that I did a chest workout. With this Once More with Love TV, I marked that I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. If there was a Marvelous Mrs. Maisel kit, that really would have come in handy, but there's not that I've seen. Anyway, oh my God, I forgot to mark this in. What did I do? What did I do this day? Well, I did my nails. Hold on. We're filling this out together. I know that's nails. I think I ordered something for my grandma. Order for grandma. Sorry, I'm just writing it in. I'm not cutting any of this out. I do apologize. Anyway, so then I ordered something for my grandmother, and I used a credit card icon, I think from Crust Press for that. And then the final thing with this Mani Petty sticker that I've had for forever, I marked that I did my nails. Then moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked with this Good Morning Once More with Love sticker was that I worked, sorry. Jesus Christ. I'm not starting over. We're just going to go with it. I apologize. I got distracted by the blank stickers and I just totally skipped over Wednesday. Sorry, we're still on Tuesday. So after I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I did the dishes, and this is a Sticky Perk sticker. And then with an SPC icon, I marked that I did a face mask. Now moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked with this Rabbit Hole handcraft sticker was that I got to work at 7:57, which is, I have not been to work before gotten to work before 8 a.m. I think maybe I have like one other time, but ever since I've had to go in 3 days a week, I have not been able to get there before 8 a.m. I've been getting in like earliest 8:02. Then with this Stella Bow Sticker Co. umbrella, I marked that it rained yet again. Are you getting a ton of rain by you? Because here in Philadelphia, it is either 100 degrees and humid or pouring rain and then humid and then 100 degrees, and we just keep going. It's awful. Anyway, moving on with this Awkward Munchkin, I marked that I told my boss I had to work remote the next day because I had my physical exam. And she was totally fine with it, but I'm always sick to my stomach when I ask, even though she told us that like if we need to go to a doctor's appointment, we can work remote. I still like feel sick asking. Yeah, she didn't care. Then with this bloated emoji from the Coffee Monsters Co., I marked that I snacked too much. With this Prairie Planner shoe, I marked that I walked 15,000 steps. Then with this Paper Shire TV, this is actually supposed to be, I think, like The Bachelor, which is so cute, but I used it to mark watching yet again The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. With that credit card icon, like I said, I ordered something for my grandmother, and then I did my nails. Okay, now really moving on to Thursday. The first thing I marked was that I worked remote because I had my doctor's appointment. With a Once More with Love litter sticker, I marked that I did the litter. Then with this, I think this is from Paper Shire as well. This rainy sticker, I just marked that it was disgusting out. Yes, of course it was raining again. With this doctor emoji, I marked that I had my physical exam and I got my blood taken and all that jazz. Then with this sluggish emoji, I marked that I was exhausted. With this Pumpkin Paper Co. egg, I marked that I forgot my hard-boiled egg. I let it sit in the water for way too long, and I was so annoyed at myself because it was my last egg. Then with this, another one of these girls, I don't know, I marked that I had to rush to pack and shower. I didn't want to have to shower at Joe's parents' house, so I wanted to shower before we left. And I was just trying to like make good time. Then with this Olive driving a car, I marked that we made our way to West Virginia. We stopped at McDonald's for dinner, and I used a Sticky Perk sticker for that. And I will say, I think this is the first time in my entire life, like including as a child, maybe one other times in my 34 years of existence, I got a small French fry. I always have to get a large. I think I've gotten a medium a couple times. I always get a large because it's one of my favorite foods. McDonald's French fries with barbecue sauce. But I was like, bitch, it's a Thursday. You need to eat better than you usually do. You don't need a large. So I got a teeny tiny hamburger and small fries. And I was so jealous of Joe while he was eating his large fries. But it wasn't worth it. I don't know if I'll do that again. Anyway, we got McDonald's. Then with this, I don't remember what this sheet is called, but basically I used this Lottie to mark that we went to sleep. I went to sleep at 12:30. I was very tired. Then moving on to Friday, the first thing I marked with this work munchkin was that I had to work at Joe's parents' house, which was actually fine. It was really cute. His mom set up like a little desk area for me. It was perfect. It was like right by my bed too, so I essentially rolled out of bed and right to work. But they do live in an old home that has not been updated whatsoever, and there's no heat on. I think maybe there's a space heater in the kitchen. So I was freezing. I had a sweatshirt on, I had pants, I had socks. I was freezing, and I am not kidding. I had goosebumps the entire time I was working. It was warmer outside than it was at my desk. And I used this munchkin, I don't know, to mark that I was freezing. Then with this squidge eating a donut and this corn dog sticker, I think from just Sticky Perks, I marked that Joe brought me back. He was out with his dad. I marked that he brought me back a donut and a hot dog for lunch. Super healthy. Then with this mint chocolate chip ice cream from Fox and Cactus, I marked that we went to this place called Nutter's with his parents and his brother, and they didn't sell like homemade ice cream, which was kind of a bummer for me. I like going to like random ice cream shops to try different things, but they had mint chocolate chip and they give you a huge serving for like really cheap, so I was fine. But we did have to eat it outside and it was cold, so could have been a more enjoyable experience, but ice cream is my favorite food, so whatever. Then with this emoji going for a walk, I marked that Joe and I went for a walk. And you know what's funny? You would think that when you're in a rural area, it'll be easier to walk, but no, because there's no sidewalks. There's barely a shoulder. There really isn't a shoulder on the road. And there's these huge pickup trucks going around these windy twists and turns at like full speed. So it was actually not enjoyable at all. And it was really scary and I did not like it. And it was really hard to get my steps in. I didn't get to 10,000. I think I got to like 7. It was not enjoyable. However, we did pass this one guy who had a bunch of kittens and he tried to give us one, and I wish. Anyway, then we went to Hibachi with his parents, his brother, and his brother's girlfriend, who neither one of us has ever met, and they've been on and off for like, I think 2 years, So it was exciting to finally meet her. Then with this SPC icon, I marked that we went to this bar place called The Barn, and it's literally in a barn. It's a giant barn on a hill. And it's actually pretty cool. It has like couches and stuff in little corners to sit. It's not like a normal dive bar. It was pretty nice actually. And we hung out there, met up with one of Joe's like childhood friends. Then with these emojis gossiping, I marked that Joe's brother's girlfriend was just spilling the tea to me. She was telling me all this stuff, and I love gossip that has nothing to do with me, so that was exciting. And then the final thing on Friday with this Fox and Cactus girl was that I was exhausted again. Then moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked with this emoji sticker was that Joe and I went for a walk, but this time we just walked along the train tracks, nowhere near the road. And these are not active train tracks, so these were like old train tracks, so we were fine. Then with this munchkin barbecuing, I marked that we went to that picnic, with this Paper Shire Museum sticker and this like starstruck emoji head, I marked that it was a legit museum. Then with this Walmart bag from SPC, I think, I marked that we went to Walmart so that I could get, I think, like Red Bull and I think just Red Bull. Then with this nail polish sticker from the kit, I marked that we went to Ulta so I could get, what do you call it? I'm trying to limit my liquids for when we travel, and I get really bad ingrown hairs, and I didn't want to like take my tanned skin with me. And anyway, long story short, I got the First Aid Beauty like razor bump like pads, so that way I can take those and it won't count as like towards my liquid allotment. So anyway, I picked those up. Then with this emoji drinking a milkshake, this is technically McDonald's, I think, but I marked it to, or used it to mark that we got one 50% off shake from Sonic and we just split it. We didn't get our own. We were trying to be good. And then the final thing on Saturday with this house sticker from the GP studio was that we got back to Philly at 11 p.m. Then moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked with this Paper Shire therapy sticker was that I was really tired and feeling depressed. With this shopping emoji, I marked that we went out to run errands, which definitely helped. It does help to get out when you're feeling like shit. Then with this Prairie Planner shoe sticker, I meant to mark walking, but I flipped these, so it says sushi, but no, we walked. Then with this Munchkin holding sushi, I marked that we ended up finding this really good sushi place. It's like less than a 10-minute walk from my apartment. So Joe, my roommate, and I all walked there and got sushi together, and it was really nice and it was good. With this Squidge family sticker, I marked that the three of us watched the movie Drop, and I had this genius idea to turn the fourth Squidge into Janet, because that is where she sat the entire movie. She sat on the back of the couch. But I kind of forgot that if I turn the Squidge into her body, I don't have room for her ears. So she kind of looks insane. But I'm keeping it because I love Janet. So anyway, there's my shitty little Janet in the background. But I will say, the movie, was it amazing? Was it one of the best movies I've seen all year? No, not at all. But it was really fun, and I enjoyed it. Then the final thing on Sunday with this Munchkin watching something scary on TV was that when Joe and I went back to his apartment, we watched Adolescence. And yeah, that's everything for this week. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.